want to start off by giving glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops at Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. It's your brother Rabbi Knapp coming out with a lesson, Lord's will, edifying to the Lord's elect. Just reading the news, it said, the Guardian says the deadly ICE shooting comes as violence spikes amid Trump immigration crackdown. Let's look into that. What's this talking about? Wednesday's deadly shooting at an immigration and customs enforcement facility in Dallas comes as the agency has heightened its crusade against undocumented people and bolstered its self-image of being under siege from violent enemies. So, hey man, they're getting a little bit of pushback back from whoever they're coming up against, man. You taking people's families away, you taking away their way of living, man. Of course you're gonna put yourself in a battle, man. Ultimately, he's coming against you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. It's gonna start in the form of ICE, and it's gonna get colder than that. It says White House asked for mass firing plans ahead of possible government shutdown. See? Then when you look into it, it says Washington, the White House asked federal agencies on Wednesday to prepare plans for mass firings during a possible government shutdown next week, making a sharp departure from the temporary furloughs of workers typically seen during past shutdowns. Hey, see, no one's safe. No one's job is safe out here, man. You know, you got Isaiah 19 and verse 15, I believe, there shall be no work for Egypt that neither branch or rush may do, going into the strong and the mighty, and going into the weak and the feeble. That's everybody, man. Okay? So even if you got a government position doesn't necessarily guarantee you're gonna have stability, okay? So this is why, hey, you gotta know the truth. You gotta know the truth, man. All right? Speaking about that, let's go to Isaiah 33. In verse 1, it says, woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled, and when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. And that's talking about the so-called white man. Okay? When you shall cease to spoil, they shall deal treacherously with thee. All right? That's why he's doing all these things. Ultimately, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, if you are in that government position, you're gonna lose your job first. You're first on the chopping block before Esau loses his job. So, and that don't matter what industry you're in. Unless you're persecuting your own people and joining organizations like ICE, they might give you a $50,000 incentive to join. They might need you so that you can infiltrate your own people and they can take you down, and then when everything's done and clean, they'll lock your ass up for something, some fraud or something, man. Never trust your enemy. Isaiah 33 and 2, O Lord Yahweh, be gracious unto us. We have waited for thee. Be thou their arm every morning, our salvation also in the time of trouble. That's right, that's our trouble. That's our salvation in the time of trouble. Okay, when this devil, this so-called white man, come down with great wrath, man. Okay, he's gonna be our salvation. That's what we're looking forward to get us up out of this mess that ultimately he put us in. Isaiah 33 and 3, at the noise of the tumult, the people fled. At the lifting up of thyself, the nations were scattered. That's right. When he lifts up, you're going to run, man. When he starts acknowledging you for your sins and these judgments start coming out, you're going to acknowledge the fact that you're going to acknowledge Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. Good morning, brother. You have a blessed day. All right, brother?
Thanks, you too.
You're welcome. All right. When he stood up, the nation scattered, man. Because they're actually going to be afraid of the Lord, man. At the noise of a tumult. Let's look at this word, tumult. Tumult is like, it's like a chaotic noise, I believe. Define tumult. Tumult. Tumult can refer, define. It says a loud, confused noise, especially one caused by a large mass of people. Okay, it's a chaotic sound. When you hear a bunch of angry protesters, that would be considered a tumult. Okay, or maybe a war, people fighting, you can't really hear what's going on, that could be considered a tumult. Okay, it's like a chaotic noise. Confusion or disorder, it says. And we're seeing a lot of tumult of the people. They're in an uproar about different government policies that are being implemented. Okay, they're in an uproar about their way of life, their way of living is being affected. People are in a tumult about these things. Isaiah 33 and 3, at the noise of the tumult, the people fled. Let's look at this. At the noise of a tumult, the people fled. Isaiah 33, verse 3 meaning. Let's see what that means. It says, describes how the surrounding nations will flee and scatter in fear when God intervenes to deliver his people. That's right, man. They're going to be scared, man, especially when the Lord returns. And he's going to have a different, all eyes shall see him, it says in Isaiah, the 2nd chapter. Okay. Is that it on that? It says, this is AI overview. Likely referring to the Assyrian army's defeat, the noise of tumult refers to the chaos of the enemy's army, and God's rising up symbolizes his powerful judgment and protective action on behalf of his people. And that's going to be happening during Jacob's trouble. Everyone's going to be losing their minds, and the Lord's going to be standing up for his men, his women, his children, man. Ultimately, Israelites that are chosen, that are part of the elect. Isaiah 33, verse 4, and your spoils shall be gathered like the gathering of the caterpillar, as the running to and fro of locusts shall he run upon them. Let's look at what that means. As the running to and fro of locusts shall he run upon them. Okay. Isaiah 33 and 4 describes divine justice as locusts rapidly and thoroughly consume a field. So will the spoil of God's defeated enemies be gathered by the victorious people with the similar ease and thoroughness. This prophecy assures God's people that their oppressors will be overthrown and their wealth will become the property of the righteous, reflecting God's ultimate power and justice over treacherous nations, okay? It's like locusts consume a field. That's what the Lord's going to do to your oppressors, man. And who's oppressing the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American man? The so-called white man. That's the right answer, man. Okay, look it up for yourself. If you don't believe that, then something's clearly wrong with you. Maybe nobody told you, man. Isaiah 33 and verse 5. The Lord Yahweh is exalted, for he dwelleth on high. He hath filled Zion with judgment and righteousness. You know, he dwelleth on high. Okay, so you can't touch the Most High, man. So he is sovereign. Okay, he's higher than the so-called white man. He's actually, the so-called white man is being controlled by Amalek and his counterparts, and they're being controlled by the spiritual demon Satan, and the spiritual demon Satan is being controlled by the Most High God, Yahweh. Actually, Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is over this damn demon, man. Okay, so he's controlling the things that you see that are happening down here on the earth. He hath filled Zion with judgment and righteousness. Okay, when he returns, he said he's gonna Isaiah 19, let me grab it. He said he's gonna make war and judge and righteousness, something like that. In Revelation 19. Revelation chapter 19 and in verse 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. So the Lord's coming to make war and judge in righteousness, man. Righteously. He's going to be going according to the law, okay? So you're going to be judged according to what you have reaped, okay? And that's a beautiful thing, because we just found out that NASA is going to be an intelligence organization. Why do they need intelligence in the sky? Aren't aliens fake? It's because he's preparing to go to war with the Lord, and he's going to lose utterly. This is what this is talking about. Okay, Revelation 19 verse 12, his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And that's talking about Yahweh Shai. He's going to be taking his crowns off from heathen nations that are out there. They got some form of authority. You know, like Vladimir Putin, he don't wear a crown, but he has a form of authority. Xi Jinping, he don't wear a crown, but he got a form of authority. Donald Duck, He don't wear a crown, but he got a form of authority. The Lord's coming to take that away from these heathen nations. Okay? That's their crown, that's their glory, that's their kingdom. All right? This is what this is talking about. That's why he's Nassau, which when you look at that in the Hebrew means the deceiver. He's the devil. Okay, is spying on something, probably out of space. I didn't really look into all of the details, but when you hear about that Hellfire missile that hit that chariot of Israel, you know there's something going on up there, and NASA they have to keep an eye out for things like that. Okay, so it's going to get interesting in these last days. You don't know what's going on. Isaiah 19 and verse 12, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself, and that name goes into your reputation. A lot of people know about Yahweh Shai's reputation. Okay, they don't understand what his rank is. Only he and the Father know. That's how high up he is. It's classified information. Okay, how high his rank, how much authority he's gonna have when he returns. I don't know why I keep saying Isaiah. Revelation 19 verse 13, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name was called the Word of God. Why is the Lord clothed with clothing that's dipped in blood? Is it because he loves you? No, because he's coming to stomp you out like grapes for your wickedness. Okay? He about to make wine with the wicked. All right? When he comes on his chariot horse and does what he did to Jehu did to Jezebel and stomp her ass out. And that's what he's gonna do to you. Okay? Esau, Edom, and the rest of you heathen nations, you really think you could come up against the Lord, man? He was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. That's your blood. But it's symbolic for the destruction that he's going to bring when he comes here. Okay? Isaiah, Revelation, Salakia. I might have to go to Isaiah again. 19 and 13. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of God, which is talking about Yahweh Shai. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. So the Lord got an army coming with him. Spiritual army that you see a little glimpse of in the new. Start to see how Esau's technology can't really do nothing with him. He's making Esau look ridiculous. You know how you dribble somebody when you're playing basketball and then their knees break? That's what Yahweh Shai is doing. That's what the angels are doing with his technology, man. There's no match against them, man. No match against them. It's like playing with a little kid. Playing basketball with a little kid, man. You can trick him. That's what the Lord's doing with him. He's going to be destroyed in 1 hour. It's going to be a marvelous victory for him. Okay? And there's nothing these heathen nations can do about it but to be destroyed. Revelation 19 and verse 15, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, and with it he shall smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the Almighty power. So he treadeth the winepress, man. Let's look into this word. Let's see what a winepress look like. He's always giving analogies. Image of a wine press. Okay, there's a good image right there. That's what he's gonna do to y'all. He's gonna make wine with you. He's gonna press you down and crush you until you just turn into a liquid. Okay. There's another one. You see what comes out the bottom of that? That's you heathen nations coming out as wine. That's what he treaded. But back then, you know, that's an older wine press. But back then, of course, you would stomp them out. Okay, that's symbolic of how he's gonna do to y'all, and that's why his vesture is gonna be made red. Revelation 19 verse 16, and he have on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Yeah, vesture going into let me grab it. I forgot what it's called. How does an army general use his declare his rank in ancient times? In ancient times, army generals declared their rank and authority through a combination of visual symbols, public proclamation, and the political power they held, rather than standardized badges. As in modern armies, methods varied by civilization, often relying on ceremonial attire and Insignia, tied to a powerful patron. I'm trying to think of the word. It's like a banner. It's like a. I think the British armies used to wear it. Did the British armies wear a rank, something to determine their rank on their clothing when they went to war? Yes, British armies use various insignias such as pips, chevrons, and epaulets to denote rank on clothing during wartime. Though the specific items of placement varied by rank, time period, and whether the uniform was for combat or formal wear, officers often displayed their rank on their shoulders, while non-commissioned officers wore chevrons on their sleeves. Insignia should be sewn on, clipped on, or worn as metal devices like shoulder titles or metal badges. You know, when you see an army general, he got a bunch of badges and stuff like that. You know, it might say what it's for. Well, his says King of Kings, Lords of Lords, but I can't think of the word that describes what that insignia means. There's a word for it. I can't think of it right now. Okay, Revelation 19, verse 17, and I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying, to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourselves together until the supper of the great power. So there's going to be a great slaughter. And these fowls, which are birds, are going to eat. Okay? And it's going to start to take place in the Middle East, because here it's going to be hit by thermonuclear missiles. So this is talking about the Valley of Jehoshaphat. When you read about that in Joel, the 3rd chapter. Okay? You didn't know that. All right. Revelation 19 and 18, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of old men, both free and bond, both small and great. So it's going to be a great slaughter in the Valley of Jehoshaphat. And it's going to be destroyed too. Well, Israel's going to be destroyed. And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on a horse and against his army. So that's what he's doing. That's why he's designated NASA as an intelligence agency. He's trying to gather up all the intelligence he can, but the Lord got all the intelligence on him. Okay? So he's expecting this battle to happen when he returns. He's not coming in here unknowingly. Everything this devil does, the Lord is privy to that information, because he's the one who's guiding him to do that. Yeah. Set up this Hellfire missile. Make sure you call it the Hellfire missile. You set up the Satan 2 missile too, and you call it a Satan 2 missile. Okay, I need to be using these things in this time. When you come up against me, you know, I want to make sure you're sharp. You got everything you need. That's why he changed the Department of Justice to the Department of War. That's why he created a sixth branch to the military. That's why he's slowly but surely telling you these chariots exist. He's telling you it's something that it's not, because he's the deceiver. He's telling you he's knocking them out the sky. He's winning, giving you a false hope. Okay, that's his expectation. Let me grab this. The expectation of the wicked is death. Book of Job, chapter 11, verse 7. When a wicked man dieth, his expectation shall perish, and the hope of unjust men perisheth. King James. I don't know if that's it. No, I'm thinking about Job. There's another thing. That's the two word. I'm thinking about Job. Just put Job. I know I'm saying it wrong. I'm trying to find it. Oh, it's Job 11 and 20. Let me grab that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna start up a little bit. I'm gonna start up at the top, as a matter of fact. Job 11:1 then answered Zophar the Naamathite and said, should not the multitude of words be answered? And should a man full of talk be justified? Should thy lies make men hold their peace? And when thou mockest, shall no man make thee ashamed? For thou hast said, my doctrine is pure, and I am clean in thine eyes. So Zophar is talking to Job. And I just wanted to see what it was about. I'm going to jump down. Job 11, verse 20. But the eyes of the wicked shall fail, and they shall not escape, and their hope shall be as the giving up of the ghost. So that's your hope, man. Okay, it's a bunch of lies, because it's all your hope is death, our hope is life. So we're contrary to one another. So he's telling you these things because ultimately that's what's going to destroy you. But he's telling you that it's something he can destroy. Okay? But he understands, man, his hope is death. There is no end for this devil. There's no peace for the wicked, man. He got punishment, destruction, slavery. He got nothing coming to him that's good. But our expectation is different. Our expectation is salvation, to be taken away from our enemies so we can rule over them, and these heathen nations never have the ability to rule over us. That's what Yahushua is coming to bring. Okay? Isaiah 33 in verse 4, and your spoil shall be gathered like the gathering of the caterpillar, as the running to and fro of locusts shall he return, shall he run upon them. Yeah, so he's gonna quickly destroy you, consume you with fire. Okay? Like we just went into it. And he's doing that for the nation of Israel. Okay? He's doing that for the true descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Not anybody falsely claiming to be that. We're going to see who is who in these last days, who he's actually defending. Isaiah 33 verse 5, the Lord is exalted, for he dwelleth on high. He hath filled Zion with judgment and righteousness. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. That's right, man. The fear of the Lord is his treasure, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of the times. All right? And that's what we're hoping to keep. That's why we studying diligently, so we can make sure we're stable in these last days, and we don't lose our damn minds like everyone else because they don't know the Lord. Isaiah 33 verse 7, behold, the valiant ones shall cry without, the ambassadors of peace shall weep bitterly. Yeah, the ambassadors of peace shall weep bitterly. I'm telling you lies, man. Okay, Isaiah 33 verse 7, meaning the moment of national despair in Jerusalem under the looming threat of the Assyrian invasion, with brave warriors cry out in the streets and peace ambassadors weep bitterly, signifying the failure of human alliances and military efforts against overwhelming odds. This devil ain't gonna have any ability to stop what's coming on from these other nations. Just like it happened to us when we were going off, these heathen nations were coming up against us, and the Lord wasn't defending us because of our wickedness. Well, he's not defending Esau anymore. He's taking away that hedge away from him. Judgment's coming to him. His sins have reached unto the clouds, according to Revelation verse 18. Grab it. Revelation 18 and verse 1, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins, this is the point, have reached unto heaven, and God have remembered her iniquities. And Babylon's talking about America. These other nations are drunk with the wine of her fornication because they follow this devil, man. Esau's the God of this world. They think the way to prosper is to do exactly how he did. He's wicked. Okay? But they weren't given the law, statutes, and commandments, so of course they would go in the direction of Esau, Edom. These laws, statutes, and commandments were given to Israel, so you're supposed to be taking these things serious. He don't fuck with these other nations like that. He fucks with them in a point to fulfill prophecy, just like he's doing with Israel. But at the same time, he ain't dealing with them on the level of wisdom that he's given Israel. Okay, they believe in false gods, man. So as mighty as they are, they still ain't got the most power. You know, they ain't dealing with how. That's why if they were smart, they really had wisdom, they wouldn't be fucking with you. But the Lord is allowing them to do these things so he can bring forth judgment upon them. Okay? And when it says come out of her, we're going to be New Jerusalem, okay, or the elect of Israel, like a bride made and ready, is going to be brought up into the ship until this destruction overpass, and then they're going to come out as New Jerusalem, and they're going to take over the world. Okay? Bunker by bunker, wherever you're hiding in the world, and you're going to go into slavery for under Yasharallah, building back up Israel and cleaning this place up. And there ain't going to be no more wars from that point on. You're going to be in order. And this place is going to be beautiful. Okay? Unlike the way it is today. Isaiah 33 and verse number 8. The highways lie waste, the wayfaring men seizeth. He have broken the covenant, he have despised the cities, he regardeth no man. And the Lord's going to destroy this place, man. He regardeth no man, he's no respecter of persons. Okay? So you need to know that. That's why it's better to be obedient rather than sacrifice. Isaiah 33 and 8 describes the landscape devastated by war, stating the highways lie waste, the traveler has seized, there's nowhere to go. You're going to destroy this place, man. This verse highlights the chaos and fear caused by the Assyrian invasion of Judah, leading to deserted roads, a collapse of community, and the fertility of seeking security through human treaties, which the oppressor has broken, okay? So you can't trust in Egypt. Okay? There's nowhere to go when the Lord brings judgment. Okay, it's going to be fulfilled to the max. Isaiah 36 and verse 1. Now it came to pass in the 14th year of King Hezekiah that Sennacherib, king of Assyria, came up against all the defense cities of Judah and took them. The Judah, Sennacherib, the Assyrians, they took down Israel, and they got proud and thought they could go into the southern kingdom and take them out too. And the king of Assyria sent Rabshakeh from Lachish to Jerusalem unto King Hezekiah with a great army, and he stood by the conduit of the upper pool in the highway of the fuller's house. Then came forth unto him Eliakim, Hilkiah's son, which was over the house, and Shebna the scribe, and Joah, Asaph's son, the recorder. And Rabshakeh said unto them, say ye now to Hezekiah, thus saith the great king, the king of Assyria, what confidence is this wherein thou trustest? I say, sayest thou, but they are but vain words. I have counsel and strength for war. Now on whom dost thou trust, that thou rebellest against me? Yeah, so Judah was, the Assyrian was talking shit, the army. Yeah, who you gonna trust in, man? We about to fuck y'all up, pretty much. Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt. Yeah, you thought you had an ally with Egypt, they gonna help you out. Okay, but Sennacherib at that time was on the Lord's sword. And there's nothing you can do. When the Lord's against you, you're gonna lose. We're wrong. If a man lean, it will go into his hand. So if you trust in your allies in things of this world, or Esau, Edom, anything other than Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, you're gonna be pierced in your hand. It's a broken reed. It's a staff which is used for stability. Is broken though. So what's that mean? It's gonna pierce you. Okay, it's not gonna keep you stable. Okay, it will go into his hand and pierce it, And that's, you trust in this place, you're going to take the MOTB too. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. And the modern day Pharaoh is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And this, in the modern day Egypt, is America. Okay? Romans, the 9th chapter goes into that. Romans 9 and verse 21. Have not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another vessel unto dishonor? Now this is symbolic of Esau, Edom, and Jacob, Israel. What if God, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted for destruction? So the vessel of honor is the elect, and the vessel of dishonor is the non-elect, Esau, Edom. Okay, the elect of Jacob, I should say. Those are the vessels of honor, and Esau is the vessel of dishonor. Okay, so he said he's gonna, with long suffering, meaning he's gonna allow this devil to do what he does, so he can get to a level where he can get the most glory out of it. You know, so he's allowing him to heap up treasures, to get away with all types of murders and crimes in the world, just so he can destroy him and glorify his name, refresh his name down here on the earth like he did in ancient Egypt, on ancient Pharaoh. Okay? Romans 9 and verse 23, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy. Yeah, the vessels of mercy on the elect, you know, saving them. That's another form of him getting glorified. Okay, all of it is to glorify Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah, which he had afore prepared unto glory. So that's Israel, man. That's the elect. Okay, that's who he's calling out of this place, so that none of these plagues come upon her, come upon them. Okay, like when America is destroyed. Okay, he's gonna redeem his elect, and from wherever they're at, from the four corners of the earth. It's not all the elect is here in Babylon. Okay? And he says, which he had all four prepared unto glory. So aforetime he prepared them unto glory. Okay? He prepared them to glory, man. He prepared them to glory, which is the kingdom. Okay, that's ultimately it's the Lord's. He gave it to his son, who's going to be joint heirs with the elect of Israel. Okay? Romans chapter 9 and verse 24, even us, whom he have called, not the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles. Yeah, not the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles. Okay? And you got to know the mystery of the Gentiles, because those are Israelites who didn't know they were Israel in foreign lands, coming back to the fact that they're Israel. Okay, that these promises also apply to them, even though they forgot who they were. The Jews knew who they were. They understood that these promises belonged to them. They weren't discontinued at that time like they are today. Now we're all fucked up. Now now we're all Gentiles. The Jews then, they got 70 AD, they got kicked out, they ran away. Different nations were going in and out of there. Ishmael was all up in there at one point. Okay? They never returned after 70 AD. It wasn't a great, they try to say that happened in 1948, but they did that in 1948 with their own might. That's why you got something called the Balfour Declaration. Right? So you need to know these things, because the Lord didn't return them according to prophecy. They got there by their own might. Ultimately, the Lord, it's the time of the Gentiles. They're the Gentiles. They're the natural-born Gentiles. We're the Gentiles because, well, we're not natural-born Gentiles. We're actual descendants of Israel. You know, he's a descendant of Esau, Edom, and these other nations that are dwelling in the land right now. All right, we're suffering the curse of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, more specifically the 64th verse, where you will be scattered. So there's a diaspora of Israelites in all nations. Okay, and they don't know who they are. So the Lord is raising up prophets to prophesy, to bring out that knowledge so that they receive it in these last days before he shut the lights off over here. Which means to bring the destruction that's prophesied in Revelation, the 18th chapter, 17, 19, you know, all of these chapters, 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, all of these things. That war in heaven, that's what I'm talking about. And that's what that NASA article, let me see if I can find an article on that, as a matter of fact. And that was an executive order that Duck did. And it's such a great thing, such a important thing to know that he turned your national, your NASA organization into an intelligence agency. So they already got a whole bunch of satellites and other equipment. If they can see Mars, imagine if they can see fucking the rover on Mars and shit like that. Imagine what they can see with you. They can see out of space. They can see far away. Okay? I forgot what precept I was going to get. It is what it is, man. Romans chapter 9 and verse 25, as he have said also in OC, which is Hosea, I will call them my people, which were not my people, and her beloved, which was not beloved. That's right. That's what happened to Israel here in America. Okay, they weren't called Israel anymore. They called themselves everything but the children of God. Okay, that's him fulfilling prophecy. They were not my people. When did that happen to the so-called small hat? He was never their people. When you let him tell it, we never lost who we were. Okay, and we got all types of DNA tests we can take to show that we belong here. Get the hell out of here, man. Full of shit. Okay, this is a faith-based ministry, man. The flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. So that's how we know. Okay, in Romans the 8th chapter, it tells you that our spirit beareth witness. The spirit beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. So that's how we know, man. It's all through faith. Not because we grew up in Israel kicking rocks and spitting at Christians, man. That's not why we know this is us. We know it because we fulfilled Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. Okay? Show me pictures of a bunch of Amalekites on a boat getting thrown into the transatlantic sea. I want to see it. I would love to see that. Shit, I might even make an AI generated version just to see what it would look like. Isaiah 33, that's Salakia. Romans chapter 9 and 26, and it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living power. So this is a place where we will call not their people, but there shall they be called and then you're starting to see that, man. You see altars in Egypt, we're claiming to be Israel. You see all these things. Okay? So we're cleaving to the house of Israel because we believe it. Okay? This is not cosplaying according to what's his face said. The cosplaying Israelite who stopped, now he's cosplaying something else now. And when that turns out not to be lucrative, when they start hitting you with RICO charges and shit, cosplay being somebody's bitch in prison, man, in LA. I heard them prisons out there, no joke, man. You're gonna have to really get it, you might really have to sharpen a knife up in there, man. You might have to poke somebody up in there. That's not a place where you wanna be on both sides of this thing, man. You wanna be 100% something and not the other, okay? Romans chapter 9 and verse 27, Isaiah also cries concerning Israel, though the number, hold on, oh, Salakia, I always skip where I'm looking for. It's actually over here. Isaiah, Romans chapter 9 verse 17. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. And that's the same thing, man. That's how the Lord glorified his name in the ancient times. When he put Pharaoh to death in the Red Sea, the way he did it. Because he's put kings to death, multiple kings to death. I mean, put Alexander the Great to death. Every king you can think of, even the kings that Amalek supposedly killing. That's the Lord doing all these things, man. Okay? He's causing this havoc down here on the earth. But the crazy part is that what he did to Antiochus Epiphanes, man. You know, what he did to Herod too. Put worms in them, then just destroyed them from the inside out. He could have done that to Esau, you know, but he would get more glory by busting him up upside the head with his own sword as he's trying to come up against his people. And then he having them be innocent and shit, because that's what Esau likes to do. He likes to kill the innocent, the poor, the kids. That's what Esau likes to do. He has a whole track record of doing that, killing kids and shit like that. Even in the Bible. He's just doing what he was always created to do. He's heartless like that. He can do that. He's not like you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. Nah, man. That's why he's the perfect devil to do this to. He's gonna deserve all the punishment that he's gonna get when he gets into the kingdom. That rod of iron, man. He's gonna get the full correction. Okay? And he's gonna get the death penalty, according to Obadiah. And that's what he gets. So for the same reason, the Lord raised him up. Esau, the so-called white man. Okay, Isaiah 33, verse 9, the earth mourneth and languisheth, Lebanon is ashamed and hewn down, Sharon is like a wilderness, and Bashan and Carmel shake off their fruits. Let's see what that's talking about. Let's see what that's talking about. Isaiah 33, verse 9 means widespread desolation and mourning in the land, where fruitful areas like Lebanon, Sharon, and Bashan and Carmel are described as withered, ashamed, and like a wilderness or desert, symbolizing God's judgment and the devastating consequences, it says, of human sin and arrogance. Ultimately, it's just sin. Okay, and that's the same thing that's going to happen in this place. Right now, it's like Lebanon, Bashan, Sharon, beautiful trees, beautiful places in America you could visit. All that's just going to wither away and be turned into a desert when the Lord's done with this place. So take a good look at it today, because the after effects is desert land, desert creatures. Going back to Revelation, the 18th chapter, with those unclean birds, and they're going to be dwelling here. Okay. Isaiah 33 and 10, now will I rise, saith the Lord Yahweh, now will I be exalted. Now will I lift up myself. That's right. Now you're going to get up and you're going to start judging me for what you did to Israel, man, which is the apple of his eye. Okay, let me grab that. That's the wrong people to fuck with, man. And we try to tell you, but it is what it is. The apple of his eye. The apple of his eye. Zechariah 2 verse 8. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, after the glory have he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. So who touched Israel, man? Esau, the molester. He's been molesting you. He's trying to rape you. He's trying to put his wicked device inside of you so he can claim that you are his, and you are opening your legs like a whore still, giving it up for free, like a prostitute, spiritually. Okay? And this is the time you should be crying out, according to Deuteronomy, that this devil is trying to come down on you, man. And you ain't saying nothing about it. So you're at ease with letting him slip it in. A lot of women are like that too, man. They like you to be a little, oh no, I don't really want it, but they kind of do. That's a lot of you Israelites out there, man. You ain't really crying out. You ain't like Susanna. Read the book of Susanna, man. Nah, they got put to death, and that's what the Lord's gonna do. He's gonna judge those who try to false accuse and try to grape you, man. You gotta cry out. Okay? You gotta know the Lord needs to know that you need a savior in these last days. Okay? Because a lot of people, man, they're wicked. You know? They're wicked, man. Isaiah 33 and 11, ye shall conceive chaff, ye shall bring forth stubble, your breath as fire shall devour you. Right? Bring forth stubble. That's what Esau is going to be like. Like an stubble, chaff. Okay? Let's look into that as a matter of fact. Isaiah 33, verse 11, meaning. It says, oh, it doesn't know. What's this say? Isaiah 33, verse 11. In contrast, what the hell is this? Oh, okay, I see what's going on. It says, a prophetic warning primarily to the Assyrian army. The modern day Assyrian is Esau, even the so-called white man, that their wicked plans will ultimately prove worthless and self-destructive. That's right, man. Your plans to start up a new world order and forever perpetuate wickedness down here on the earth. Your plans to put a device in Israel and claim that they're your servants for all eternity. Your plans to be subhuman and live forever on the left-hand side. You know, to be put in some type of a metaverse and come on, man. It's wicked. You're not gonna succeed. If it goes up to Esau, this place will be just like the Matrix. Be just like the Matrix, man. You see how wicked the Matrix is. And then we're gonna need a white savior to go fly around in the metaverse to come save us. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here, man. No, he's gonna destroy all of that before it even happens. It tells you in Matthew the 24th chapter that let me grab it. I forgot how to put it, but he pretty much says that they would no flesh shall be saved if the Lord didn't stop this nigga, man. Matthew 24, verse 22, and except those days should be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. That's right, man. So he's shortening the days. That's why he's bringing forth these judgments the way that they're happening. You know, you're starting to see the accumulation of World War III happening, more earthquakes in diverse places, more uproars, rumors of wars. You're hearing more and more of that. As a matter of fact, there was a huge, something happened in Argentina where Donald Duck had to go out there and try to help them. Okay, so here it is. His red ass is quick to get up and go help a whole nation whose economy crashed. And whose money are they gonna? He gonna give them your money, just like he did Ukraine. He won the fight. Now we're gonna fund it. Okay. But meanwhile, you're in debt. You need help. He don't give a fuck about it. That's the Lord using him, man. He wants chaos, more disorder. That doesn't make any sense. Elizabeth Warren came out and was saying shit. You know, she's the only one that actually makes some type of sense. But meanwhile, when they're in the party, they do the same type of wickedness. you know? But they can call out wickedness when it benefits them. Get the hell out of here. All these wicked ass unrighteous decrees you put out, man. So he's over here trying to help Argentina. Who gonna help you when your shit crash? Nobody gonna help you, man. When this place crashes, there's no company, there's no nation that's gonna, the nations of the earth are not gonna gather together and say, let's help this place out. Let's give it a, a boost. Let's restart their economy. Nah, man, they're gonna shoot nukes on this place, man. This is the perfect time. We should hit them now. We should hit them now. Their money crashed. You know, their people are in an uproar about it. They're already collapsing in the Civil War. People are arguing over Charlie Kirk. This is the perfect time to just strike their asses, man. Strike them now. That's the point that we get into. They got networks with a bunch of cell phones trying to that can fuck up your networks. So don't think all this shit's gonna come suddenly, man. And you ain't gonna be prepared for none of this shit. You ain't gonna be prepared to lose anything, man. Every single day. So that's gonna be in the news soon. If people ain't watching that, people are gonna be pissed off about that. Oh no, we need to fix this, then fix that. And there's a lot of situations. The homelessness, that's an issue. But Duck already got a plan for that. He said he's gonna lock up the homeless. That's the way to do it. So you're not even gonna be he's gonna clean up the streets. Everyone's gonna be locked up. And if you ain't locked up, you're gonna be fucked up out here, man. Okay? You're gonna be fucked up. And you better hope you don't send your ass to Ecuador. I just saw a crazy ass prison riot in Ecuador, like 11 inmates. There was a huge war in there, man. And he's sending y'all to these different types of places. And they're killing you over stupid shit. Government issued clothing. Now give me your shirt. Damn, I ain't even got nothing. Nah, give me your shirt. Give me your pants. Okay? So that's what's happening in these other places, man. So it be in your best interest to repent while, you know, you still got, you still somewhat safe. You all right. You somewhat got liberty. Okay? Isaiah 33 in verse 12, and the people shall be as the burnings of lime, as thorns cut up shall they be burned in the fire. Yeah, so the people are going to be burned up, man. Let's grab that. Isaiah 33 and 12. And what causes burnings like that? Thermonuclear destruction. Isaiah 33 verse 12. Meaning. Isaiah 33 verse 12 describes God's judgment on the oppressive foreign nations, using the imagery of burnings of lime and thorns cut up to show their utter and complete destruction, leaving nothing but ashes and powder. This prophecy speaks of divine retribution against those who oppose God's purposes and oppress his people, emphasizing their futility and worthless fate in the face of God's consuming power. Okay, it don't get no more clearer than that, man. So worthless fate of being burned up like lime, being chopped up and cut up, broken into pieces. That's your fate for oppressing his people. The Lord's not coming to save no oppressor. And who's oppressing the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American? The same damn devil that always been oppressing you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Who's the one in power? He got all the power, man. He's signing all these unrighteous decrees, just like that executive order about NASA that no one's saying anything about. You know why? Because he did it under the table. Joe Rogan got a whole 5-minute video about it. How does Joe Rogan know? He's telling the truth on the podcast, but the American people can't even Google this stuff. You can't find it. I try to look it up, man. There's no news stations about executive orders. Get the hell out of here, man. You got to be looking for these things, man. But why is he doing it? I didn't grab all the precepts, but because he's going to fight against the Lord when he returns. Okay? But he's going to lose. Michael and his angels too. Daniel 12:1, Jacob's trouble. So you're going to get burnt up. Okay? Oh, and it gives me a beautiful precept in the Bible. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to grab it. Isaiah chapter 9 in verse number in verse number 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. That's right, man. It's not gonna be like ancient times when we used to fight wars, man to man, hand to hand. No, it's gonna be burnings and fuel of fire. Okay, it's gonna be fought with missiles. It's gonna be fought with drones. Okay, it's gonna be fought with all this different technology. You're gonna get burnt up. Okay, Isaiah 19:18. For wickedness burneth as the fire, it shall devour the briars, thorns, and shall kindle in the thickets of the forest, and they shall mount up like the lifting up of smoke. Okay? You're going to mount up like the lifting up of smoke, man. Okay, that's coming from the thermonuclear missiles. That's the byproduct of it all. Okay, smoke. Through the wrath of the Lord of hosts is the land darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. No man shall spare his brother. Exactly, man. The people shall be as the fuel of the fire. The flesh is going to get burnt up like Sarah Connor in Terminator the second, Terminator 2. She was on the fence. Okay? Matter of fact, we'll grab that precept. I think it's Zechariah. Your eyes shall consume away while you stand on your feet. Look at Zechariah 14, verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Okay, so that's you being that fuel of fire. That's you being consumed away here in Babylon or over there in the Middle East, wherever it is, man. Wherever these thermonuclear missiles are coming, that's what that's talking about. Okay. Isaiah 33 and verse 13, hear ye that are afar off what I have done, and ye are near, acknowledge my might. Yeah, acknowledge it, man. Okay? Those of you who are afar off, ultimately, he's talking to everybody. Okay? Because the Lord didn't destroy the Sennacherib didn't go into Judah and do all these things, man. Okay? He might have burned some things up, but he got destroyed by those angels. Those angels came and saved the day, just like the Lord's going to do in this time. Okay? He's going to do the same thing in this time. Isaiah 33 verse 13, meaning. It says, God's call to all people, near and far, to pay attention to his great deeds, particularly his miraculous deliverance of Zion from its enemies. That's right. And you're going to be able to see that. Okay? Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, talks about the strangeness of their salvation. They're going to see it. Okay? Israel being delivered and your ass about to be destroyed by thermonuclear destruction. Okay? It's going to be a 30-minute chaos, man. That time, what that looks like, that's what's described in the Bible. How you doing today, sir? You have a wonderful day, all right? Okay? So this is what we're getting prepared for. So you got to acknowledge it. And you will. Isaiah 13 and verse 14. The sinners in Zion are afraid. Fearfulness have surprised the hypocrites. Who among us shall dwell with the devouring fire? Who among us shall dwell with everlasting burning? So the sinners in Zion, talking about you Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Who among you are going to dwell in this fire that I'm talking about? That the Lord is talking about. Who's going to dwell amongst you? If you think the Lord's coming to save you and everything's going to be all right, but the Lord said that there's sinners in Zion, and they're afraid of dwelling in this fire. Is that you? It probably is, because you don't know the Lord, man. Your hand is joined with the so-called white man Esau, and this is his destruction that I'm talking about. But the wickedness that he's done down here on the earth, that comes with a consequence. The Lord was long suffering with you, Esau. This is what you don't understand. He's allowing you, he hates wickedness. Okay? But he's been allowing you to do your thing, so he can repay you back for all the wickedness you've done down here on the earth. And you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, this judgment's coming to you too. 2/3 of you shall be cut off and die. Let me grab that. Zechariah chapter 13. In verse 8. It shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And I'll bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God. That's right. So 2/3 of y'all are going to be cut off and die. 1/3 is going to be brought through the fire. 1/3 is going to be brought through the fire. That's talking about the elect of Israel. First Peter chapter 4, verse 17. For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of God. And if it first begin at us, what shall be the end of them that obey not the gospel of God? That's right. What shall be the end of you who don't obey, man? You're disobedient, you sinners in Zion. What shall, and it's going to start with us. But what shall the end be? It's already started. That's why ICE agents are being shot at in Dallas. Okay? That's going to increase. They're going to have to ramp it up. They might have to start using the National Guard. Not the National Guard. The National Guard really ain't shit, man. These are volunteers, man. The military, the Army, they're coming. Okay? It's going to get worse. Not National Guard idiots who were just playing PlayStation the night before. Now they suit up and think it's Call of Duty and go out and they give them some mace and little mace grenades and shit like that. They send the National Guard for that. No, they're going to have trained men come out here who only obey orders. They're not going to be like the National Guard, looking like a bunch of damn dumbasses. You know, the Army, the U.S. military, or Army, or whatever. They're going to be walking in streets. Just like when he had that parade where he was putting tanks on Washington, D.C. streets. I wouldn't be surprised if they start doing that. Drones flying to and fro in your area. Okay, they're already starting to make drone packages in certain parts of the country. And people think that's just cool. They're dropping off Amazon packages via drone. You're welcoming your own destruction. This is how silly you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are, man. You have no clue why these things are happening. He's making it look good, but it's not for your good. Okay? So if it first begin at us, what shall be the end for those who don't believe the gospel? Isaiah 33 and verse number 15, he that walketh righteously and speaketh uprightly, he that despiseth the gain of oppressions, that shaketh his hands from holding of bribes, that stoppeth his ears from hearing of blood, and shutteth his eyes from seeing evil. You know, someone that's upright, you're not going to be hearing all that bullshit. You know? Stopping his ears from hearing these things. He's not taking a bribe. But Israel, y'all doing this shit, man. You all for it. You getting people put to death, telling them lies, telling them they can take the MOTV, telling them it's okay to have sex on the Sabbath. You ain't teaching the people what they need to know, man. Also, you can make a bag. Let's go into that. What verse was that? Isaiah 33, Salakia, in verse 15. Isaiah 33, verse 15, it describes the qualities of a righteous person who will receive God's protection and provision. They walk with integrity. They speak truthfully. How you doing today? Good morning. Despise oppression. Refuse bribes. Reject violence. And actively turn away from evil. This verse encourages a life of righteousness, promising that such individuals will be safe, sustained by God, and able to see the King in his beauty, signifying a deep connection with God and a secure future. Okay, so they're not going to be taking bribes. They're going to be walking with integrity. Okay, and your government, they don't do that. Tom Homan just got caught trying to take $50,000 offerings. Whoever wanted a position in some high position. So a lot of people, that just goes to show you, man, whoever wants to be the highest bidder, man. You know, money runs everything. Not justice, not truth. That doesn't run anything. Money. Okay? Isaiah 33 and verse 16, he shall dwell on high. His place of defense shall be the munitions of rocks. Bread shall be given him. His waters shall be sure. So he's going to eat. He's going to drink. He's going to be defended. Okay? Ultimately, that's talking about the elect, and it matches up in Isaiah 65th chapter. Isaiah 33 verse 16 assures that the righteous will live in a state of security and divine provision, dwelling in a high place like a fortified rock fortress, with their sustenance of bread and water provided by God. So he's going to take care of his servants, the prophets. Okay? Let me grab that as a matter of fact. Isaiah 65 and verse. Isaiah 65. How you doing, brother? You're an Israelite, by the way. Isaiah 65 and verse 13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Talking about you sinners in Zion. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. So, you're going to be ashamed now. And that's our 401k right there. Okay? That's our retirement plan. All right? That doing the work of the Lord is going to benefit us in these last days, man. Even if nobody's listening, who cares, man? You ain't going to eat, you ain't going to drink, and you ain't going to rejoice in that time, man. You're going to die of vexation of spirit. Your spirit going to be low. You're going to be unstable. You're going to pine away for your iniquity. You're going to wish you got shot with a gun in your head, man. Okay? That's the time that's coming. How you doing today? You have a wonderful day, all right? You have a blessed day. All right? Isaiah chapter 33 In verse 17, thine eyes shall see the king in his beauty. They shall behold the land that is very far off. That's right. And you know that's Israel, man. So let's get into it. You know that's Israel. Isaiah 33, verse 17. It says, promises the faithful, righteous people, which are the Israelites, that they will see the king in his beauty in a land that is very far off, signifying a glorious future of divine presence and abundant peace under the reign of the Messiah. That's right. Under the reign of the Messiah, man. And that's going to be in Israel. Now, anybody talking about that, they think, oh, no, this place, we're going to rebuild this place. It's going to be nice and good. Everyone's going to have a stimulus check in their pockets, more money to spend. Nah, that's not what this is saying. This is why it's important that you know the prophecies so you can be built up. Esau don't want you to know about these prophecies, man. That's why he tell you lies. He want everyone to be at peace. You'd be mad if you understood what the Lord is mad about. And his words now, he ain't even being glorified. Isaiah 33 and verse 18, thine heart shall meditate terror. Where is the scribe? Where is the receiver? Where is he that counted the towers? That's right. Where is he? Where is the scribe, the receiver? Where is he that counted the towers? Okay. When your heart's meditating terror, see, a lot of things happen to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And Esau during that time, he was meditating terrors on you. That's why he don't even tell you all the shit he did to you during slavery and things like that. Because he don't even want you to know what type of shit he was meditating. It was wicked. Homosexual acts on men, kids being killed, cannibalism, drinking of your blood, all types of shit. Skinning you, taking your hair out, putting it into a couch, making a chair out of your skin, jackets made of human skin and slave skin, worth thousands of dollars now. You can buy that shit. That's what they trade. They trade in. This is the scriptures talked about giving gifts to one another. Look at this leather jacket, all nigga skin. You want that? Nigga skin gator boots. You know, they'll let a gator eat your kid and then turn the gator into some boots and then eat the gator. You know, that's meditating terror. Where is the scribe? Where is the receiver? Where is he that counted the towers? Yeah, when you go to war, people document what you were doing. They got all different types of documentaries. They write about it. This is a scribe. We know about Seneca Career, and we're reading about the accounts. You know, the receiver, the things that, you're writing about the spoils and things that were taken away, you know, the amount of people you got. You know, where is all of that? All right? That's what that's talking about. You have a blessed day, all right? She wanted to stop and hear the word a little bit. 18, Isaiah 33, verse 18 signifies the end of terror and oppression. As God's people will eventually look back on the fearful times with gratitude and joy rather than fear. This includes the people of Jerusalem who face the Assyrian threat, who will now be free to live in peace under God's rule and will inquire with confidence about their past oppressors, no longer fearing them. Right. Okay. Where's all of that shit, man? All the things you've done to Israel, all the takedowns, the different plans that you came up against us with. That's pretty much what it's saying nowadays, man. It ain't gonna be none of that. And we're gonna do it to you. Okay? We're gonna meditate terror, and we're gonna meditate terror with spiritual power. All right? So that's terrible, man. Put you in the feedback loop. We'll just terrorize you, man. Be like Freddy Krueger to you. But in real life, it's going to be a full-blown nightmare, man. Isaiah 33, in verse 19, thou shalt not see a fierce people, a people of a deeper speech than thou canst perceive, of a stammering tongue that thou canst not understand. Let's look that up. What does that mean? What does that mean? Isaiah 33:19, the promised destruction and removal of fierce, incomprehensible foreign oppressors who once threatened God's people. It assures that the people of Zion will no longer witness these fierce people or struggle with their deeper speech of stammering tongue. The verse speaks to the ultimate security and restoration of God's kingdom, where oppressors are defeated and their intimidating presence is a thing of the past. That's right. What does it mean by the stammering tongue? Let me look up that word stammering in Isaiah 33, verse 19. People of obscure speech beyond perception of a stammering tongue that you cannot. The incomprehensible language of the Assyrians heightened the fear and alienation of the Israelites. Their strange foreign language is used as a metaphor for their foreignness and hostility towards God's people. This would have been especially frightening to the Jewish people or Israelite people. There's no such thing as Jewish people. As the Assyrian emissaries spoke in a language they could not comprehend when negotiating terms of surrender. Oh, man. Pretty much any foreign nation that got us, man. But let me look at this word stammering in the blue letter. Isaiah 33 and verse 19, stammering tongue. Stammering. It says to mock, deride, ridicule, to mock, deride, having derision, to stammer, to mock, laugh, to scorn. It says as if imitating a foreigner, to speak unintelligibly, have in derision, laugh to scorn, mock on, stammering. Look up stammering. The action or act of speaking with a stammer, stutter. Speaking unintelligible, variously in a foreign language. All right, so we ain't gonna be put on other people, man, anymore, any longer. Let me read that again. Isaiah 33, verse 19, thou shalt not see a fierce people, a people of a deeper speech than thou canst perceive, of a stammering tongue that thou canst not understand. That's right, man. We're not going to be up under these heathen nations anymore. Okay? Because even when you do get to learn their language, they still speaking with a forked tongue. You can't understand what Esau is saying. Okay? You might hear the words and understand the words he's saying, but he speaks a whole different language. He's wicked. Okay? Esau's wicked. He speaks with a double-minded. How you doing today? Have a wonderful day, all right? Double-minded, he's a double-minded man, a fork-tongued devil. Isaiah 33 and verse 20, look upon Zion, the city of the solemnities, some solemnities, thine eyes shall see Jerusalem, a quiet habitation, a tabernacle that shall not be taken down, not one of the stakes thereof shall ever be removed, neither shall any of the cords thereof be broken. That's right, man. We're going to be fastened. We're going to be established forever. Okay, and no one's going to be able to take that power away from us. That's the power that the Lord's going to give us. Okay, Isaiah 33 and verse 20. Yeah, let's look into that. Let's look into it. Isaiah 33 and verse 20. It says, describes Jerusalem, Zion as a secure, peaceful dwelling like a permanent tent with unmoving stakes and unbroken cords, signifying God's unwavering presence and promise to his people in a coming era of spiritual renewal and safety, contrasting with their past and present instability. Okay? We're going to be secure. Our laws are going to be executed. We're going to be righteous. We're going to be changed. So there's nothing that can remove that, because now we can't transgress the laws in order for us to be put underneath our enemies ever again. Okay, because that's the reason why we're here, because we're flesh, man. We had the laws, we tried to keep them, we couldn't, and we fell. That's not going to happen again. It's not going to be like the book of Judges. We get saved out of this captivity, live in peace for a little bit, and then fall off again because we're wicked. Nah, we're going to be changed, man. And that eliminates, that's the staking of our being one with the Lord. Okay? And that's going to establish us first and foremost. That's why we need the Lord. Because we have to be changed. Because if we had the kingdom right now, we'd be just as wicked as these other nations, bringing in these wicked ideologies. Isaiah 33, hold on, did I grab it? I did. In verse 21, but there the glorious Lord Yahweh will be unto us a place of broad rivers and streams, wherein shall go no galley with oars, neither shall gallant ship pass thereby. Let me look that up. What's that talking about? What's this talking about? Isaiah 33 verse 21 uses powerful imagery to describe the future security and prosperity of Zion, which is Jerusalem, under God's reign. The verse states that the Lord will be for his people like a place of wide rivers and streams, symbols of abundant provision in life, but these rivers will be so vast and mighty that no ship, neither a war galley nor a grand vessel. What's a war galley? Let me look at galley. Galley is a low, flat ship with one or more sails and up to 3 banks of oars, chiefly used for warfare, trade, and piracy. How you doing today, bro? Hey, bro. Doing good? Yeah. That's good. I just want to say hi. You ain't got to stop and talk, man. You have a wonderful day, all right, brother?
But you talking about the God? Yeah, I don't want to disappear.
It's all right, brother. You just have a good day, man. That's all, brother.
Can I talk one thing about the God?
You can hear it.
The God is one time life, one time death.
All right, brother. You have a wonderful day, man.
That is trouble.
All right, brother. You have a wonderful day. Thank you, man. You have a wonderful day, man. Thank you, man.
If you are preaching, you have to talk nice.
I am.
Don't say nothing to anybody. If you want to talk, they talk.
Hey, brother. You have a
No
wonderful
matter,
day,
man.
brother. You have a brother. Nice seeing you, brother.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
If you want to talk, if they want to talk to you, talk. But don't say nothing to anybody who is passing by you.
You have a wonderful day, man. You have a wonderful day, brother.
Me, I'm very good, man.
You have a wonderful day. Thank you, man.
You can't do like that.
I'm sorry I said hi to you, man. You smell like mad alcohol, man. That's why I was trying to get him away from me. It's mad alcohol. You know how that is, man. Okay. Isaiah 33 and verse 21, but there the glorious Lord will be unto us a place of broad rivers and streams, wherein shall go no galley with oars. I don't know what oars are. No galley with oars. Actually, let me finish it. Neither a war galley nor a grand vessel can sail them, signifying total invincibility and freedom from enemies. This metaphor illustrates that God himself will be the ultimate source of safety, nourishment, and peace for his people, replacing the need for earthly rivers and protecting them from any invaders. Right? Okay. Isaiah 33, verse 22, for the Lord is our judge, the Lord is our lawgiver, the Lord is our king, he will save us. That's right, man. Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. Thy tacklings are loose. They could not well strengthen their mast. They could not spread the sail. Then is the prey of a great spoil divided. The lame take the prey. Let's see what that's talking about. Isaiah 33, verse 23. Isaiah 33, verse 23. Uses ship imagery to describe the utter defeat and helplessness of the Assyrian army or the Assyrian enemy, who are depicted with loose rigging and a broken mast, unable to move or fight effectively. The This is followed by the prophecy that the people of Zion, representing the faithful, will then divide the great spoils of the defeated enemy, with even the weak and lame participating in the plunder, illustrating God's power to turn the tables and bring victory to the vulnerable. That's right, man. And that's showing you that the Lord is fighting for Israel. This is the point, and this is the end. Isaiah 33, verse 24. And the inhabitants shall not say, I am sick. The people that dwell therein shall be forgiven their iniquity. Okay? And our sins are going to be forgiven. Okay? Forever. And we're never going to sin ever again. But with that, I'm going to end it right there. Lord's will, this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kadash. Shalom, Abba, Babal, Kwam Yasharala.